ESO is about to change in a big way. Season 1 is bringing new storylines, new world systems, and a complete overhaul to how we play the game day to day. And it all starts in a few weeks on July the 8th. If you've been waiting for ESO to feel fresh again, this is the update you're going to want to pay attention to. And before we get into everything, I wanted to give a general overview of everything coming next month to ESO. In case you've missed any of the conversations on social media from the dev team, any of the streams they have been doing recently, or any of the info I've put out here on the channel. There's been a lot of ESO news this year in a short amount of time, and I know some players may miss some of this news and are not quite sure what's going to be coming with each and every update or new season. So let's go ahead and break it all down. Coming in Season 1, you can see things like the Thieves Guild story Questline, the dynamic encounter system, and the brand new favor quest system. Also, later in the month, the Sheogorath storyline. This is the real first big season we've had in ESO since the new season structure was brought into the game. And the devs even said that when it was first announced. Season 0 was going to be kind of a smaller season, a test run type season is how they somewhat worded it. And after that, we would see more and more content in each and every season. And you can tell Season 1 is bringing a lot to the game. So it does launch, like I said, on July the 8th with the Thieves Guild storyline. And this is not just a small side quest. This is a full narrative arc built to stand on its own. Even if you've never played the original Thieves Guild DLC, you can jump straight into this one without missing anything. If you have played that original story, they said you will see some conversations with NPCs that do mention things from that original story. But just in case you have not had time to play it, you're newer to the game, it's no big deal. I would recommend it if you do have time, but if you don't, you can still hop in and play this brand new Thieves Guild story without any knowledge of what went on the first time. The story focuses on a brand new cast of characters, new heist, and a plot line that ties directly into the season's overhaul theme. Expect things like infiltration missions, stealth-focused objectives, and more grounded criminal storylines than we've had in a while inside the game. It's clear that the development team wants this to be kind of the anchor of the season, something that gives players a reason to log in on day one of Season 1. If you're a fan of narrative-driven content, this one's going to be a big highlight of the season. Next up is the new dynamic encounter system. This will also be launching on July the 8th. And this is a pretty cool addition because it changes how the world feels when you're out just exploring. Dynamic encounters are multiple stage events that spawn organically as you move through the world. Now, you will see an icon on the map showing you that there is a dynamic encounter going on, so you will know when that is happening and when you can go participate in it, in case you're not just walking across it randomly. These are not just random mobs standing around waiting to be killed. These encounters have objectives, scaling difficulty depending on how many players are participating, and rewards that change depending on how you complete them. At launch, they will appear across 3 zones: Oridon, Stone Falls, and Glen Umbra. But Zos has already kind of been making some comments that the system will expand in future seasons. So we will probably see this added to more zones as we move forward this year. I think this is their attempt to make the world feel alive again. And I think that's a good thing for ESO because that is something some of these older zones have needed for a while. And when it comes to each zone, they will have their own dynamic encounter. It won't be the same encounter in each zone. Each zone has a different kind of story-made encounter for that particular zone. If you like to just kind of run around, farm quest, or explore in zones, this system is going to make those kind of base zones feel brand new again. And I do think people like dynamic encounters and other MMOs and RPGs. So this is a very good addition, in my opinion. Now, the favor system will also arrive on July the 8th. And this is a rework of how the daily quest structure works. Instead of picking up generic tasks from a board or an NPC, you'll now receive letters and requests from specific characters. Each NPC has their own kind of mini storyline, and as you complete their favors, you build relationships with them. Eventually, you will unlock unique rewards, things like housing items, cosmetics, collectibles, and some of this stuff will be tied directly to those characters. This is a more personal, narrative driven approach to dailies, and it gives players a reason to actually care about the task they're doing. It's not just a random NPC standing somewhere on the map. This has a bit more of a story to it, so it should get you more involved with what's going on. ZOS has confirmed that more characters will be added over time, so the system is designed to grow throughout the year. And that's kind of been one of their messages this year, because that has always been one of the complaints from the community. They put some really cool stuff in the game and then they don't really add to it. This year, all the stuff they've talked about, they have continuously kind of pushed the narrative that they want players to understand that they're not going to do as or what they did in the past. They're going to continue to build upon these new things they're adding. And I think that's a really good thing. And if you're someone who logs in daily to do daily quests, this is going to be a huge quality of life improvement. Plus, if you're someone that likes more story driven stuff in the game, like I said, these are going to be a bit more in depth than your normal dailies that you have been doing. And when it comes to the Sheogorath storyline, that will be coming out on July the 29th, so pretty much the end of the month. But this is a separate drop from the main launch. This is exactly what you would expect. Chaos, puzzles, weird choices, and the usual madness that comes with the Daedric Prince of Cheese. They said it's going to be a shorter, more focused story designed to cap off the first month of the season. So they have said, think of this like kind of a bonus idea. To me, it's like a bonus chapter, something fun, something unpredictable from a character that a lot of people enjoy just in the Elder Scrolls universe overall. And they said it's going to be very on brand for Sheogorath. So next month is going to be huge for ESO. And all of this is just to start off in Season 1 in the month of July. We have other things coming like the Crimson Velt Trial and the High Seas of Tamriel later in Season 1 at kind of the end of the summer is what the development team has been hinting at. So there's a lot more coming within the season, but it's definitely starting off with a bang. Season 1 isn't just a content drop, it's kind of a start of the brand new structure for the entire game. Like I said, we've had Season 0 in the game, but it wasn't a massive amount of stuff within the season. There's been some cool stuff going on, like the night market and some other drops we've had. But overall, there was not a lot of brand new things brought into the season. And I do find it pretty interesting that they have decided to do all of this content kind of from June to July. That's usually when we used to see those big chapter releases in ESO in years past. So to me, to have all of this stuff in the summer is kind of somewhat the same route they used to take. They're trying to make sure players are going to have a lot to do during the summer months and kind of going forward in these seasons. And if they can continue to have this much content each and every season, I think the player base will be pretty happy. July is definitely going to set the tone for ESO. How they deliver stories, new systems, and how progression of all of this moves forward. Getting a full story arc, a brand new world event, a complete rework of daily quest, a second story drop at kind of the end of the month, and a beginning of a seasonal model that will continue to evolve as we move forward. I really do think this is the first time in years ESO has shifted its formula dramatically. We know since the start of the year, there's been tons of announcements, tons of talk about what they're going to do in game long before we get it. And I really do think this is good for the game because the community can see what's coming to the game. They can kind of understand what's coming to the game long before it is dropped. Before, we used to get info pretty much right around the time it was released. So the direction the development team is taking is a great one. And if they can continue to build on all of these new systems they're adding in, I do think it's going to be great for the game, because if they can keep that promise, it's going to be huge to see all of these new things come into the game, but these new things will continue to evolve from year to year. Whether you're a returning player, someone that logs in every day, or someone who just loves story content, next month is shaping up to be one of the more important months ESO has had in a long while. If you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.